We are here again on King Spotlight with Monarch head football coach Jeff Knarr. Coach, thank you for being with us again, this being the 11th time this season.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, it's here. It's week 10, the final game of the 2013 football season. On Saturday, your King squad will host our crosstown rival, Wilkes, in the annual Mayor's Cup game. For those who may be unfamiliar with the rivalry, Kings and Wilkes are separated by only 3 blocks in the center of Wilkes-Barre. What is it like to have a rivalry between schools that are so close together geographically?
I mean, it's awesome because, again, the whole community, rallies around, the game and knows the 2 schools, and then there's a lot of local, players involved in it as well. So there's a, big, rivalry games, sense a lot of school pride, but also, this one invokes a lot of, community pride and city pride, as being only 3 blocks apart.
The Kings-Wilkes rivalry is very unique in that there's a lot of respect both ways. You don't see a lot of negativity found, and a lot of other rivalries could probably learn from what Kings and Wilkes do. You and Coach Sheptock get along extremely well. There are also a lot of players on both sides who played with and against one another in high school. It's the type of game where you get at it for 60 minutes, then afterwards you'll find many of the players from both teams taking photos with one another with their families. It is really a unique rivalry, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and with that local flavor, extends even to the Mayor's Cup. The mayor, he's an alum of Kings. One of his children's an alum of Kings, and I think he has one of his other children is currently at Wilkes, or maybe he's a alum of Wilkes. So, and that's kind of how you see, I think, from the local families here, they have some, Wilkes grads and some Kings grads, within their families. And then the relationship, that we've had with Coach Sheptock, started at Muhlenberg with scrimmages and playing them. So you have a lot of respect for what they do, and know a lot of the coaches on their staff, and vice versa here. So, it's a rivalry where we're get along well, and then for 3 hours on a Saturday in mid-November, we compete like crazy to beat each other for the bragging rights and the right to have that Mayor's Cup. But when it's all said and done, there's that mutual respect and admiration for the effort put in that goes into that game and everything about each other's programs.
Well, let's talk about Wilkes, first starting with their defense. The Colonel defense has been very solid all year long, so talk about the problems that their defense causes for opponents this season.
I mean, they're physical. They run the ball really well. The Tate Moore, Jacobs kid, is a great. He's one of the best linebackers in the conference. I mean, he's very instinctual. Plus, he's fast and physical. And then they feed off of him, and they got 2 other linebackers that are kind of cut from the same mold. They're big up front on the D line and get after you. So they do a great job of defending the run. And then they got guys in the past. They had 2 good corners that were young, and you can see the improvements they've made. Why do you watch them on film from last year to this year? And then the safeties do a good job of keeping things in front of them and can make plays as well.
Offensively, Wilkes runs a spread formation. They lost their quarterback Tyler Burnston early in the season, and freshman Taylor Young has been running the show the past 7 games and done a nice job. Has Wilkes changed the way they run that offense since Young has taken over, and how has he impressed you?
I think a little bit they've kind of gone maybe a little more pro style stuff and run on the rely more on the running game. Their tailback had a great day against us last year, and he's been solid and been able to avoid the injury bug that some of the other backs that they've had. So they leaned on their run game more. But their young quarterback is coming from a great high school program, so you can just see him maturing, each week, and they've kind of, given him a little bit more, where they've been able to make some plays in the pass game from that deal. But they want to get the run game going, which is going to make it easier for their young quarterback to throw the football. So they've kind of relied on the guys up front to pave the way for their tailback.
As we mentioned earlier, the Wilkes defense has played well, so your office will have a bit of a challenge against that unit. What do you see as the keys for your offense being successful in this game?
We have to, one, if we can control the line of scrimmage, on both sides, that's going to help. Last year, people came to the game and also got to see a track meet as well as a football game. We have to, not allow that to happen again. We fell behind early a lot, so we didn't do a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage defensively. But then offensively, we struggled to get the run game going. Plus, you get behind multiple scores, you can't spend a lot of time to get the run game going. So if we can control the line of scrimmage, we need to run the ball, more and more effectively, than last year, and that'll open up things. Because then it ended up being, us throwing the ball around the yard had success doing it, but still didn't make enough plays at the end. So if we can control the line of scrimmage, we got to get our run game going early and effective to give ourselves a chance to win.
Last week, junior wide receiver Dan Kempa became the first player in Kings history to surpass the 1,000 receiving yards mark in a single season. He also enters the game this week with 56 receptions and needs just 2 catches to set the new Kings single season mark for receptions in one season. Talk about Dan's development from the player he was when he came here to the player that he is now.
He's, again, just ridiculously athletic, and what you've seen is just the confidence come. He's a very shy, humble kid, and we try to teach him that it's one thing to be humble, but not necessarily shy on the football field. You can be humble, but still be that guy that just kills everyone, gets open and just makes plays, and is the man. But then you can be humble about it, and then he's kind of developed and learned that. He was shy when he was first got here, so he was reserved, wasn't attacking the football, attacking the routes, and then he just got more comfortable being a college student away from home, more comfortable within the program, more comfortable with our scheme. You've seen that confidence rise up, and he's still extremely humble kid, but you see on the field he's able to just be the man and be a playmaker, and then each week we're trying to figure out how people are going to try to attack him, and it's always with multiple guys, their best guy, and each week he's been able to find ways to get open, and we've been able to get him the ball. So it's been really neat to see him kind of come in as that shy kid with a deer in the headlight look, not ready to be a varsity guy, even though he had varsity athleticism right from the get-go, and just work extremely hard and get comfortable and confident, and just see him play more and more, and then make more and more plays, and then have the kind of year he's having now is outstanding.
The Kings defense has played very well for the majority of the season, but had a tough outing last week at Widener. What do you expect to see from your defense this week?
Much more, inspired play. We did a poor job as a staff, I think, getting our kids prepared, for Widener. We thought we were, and we just weren't. Like I told the kids, we earned, their right to have their individual attention, and they certainly, had that, and they came to play, and we quite, didn't. But what we saw talking with them then, they kind of learned that, and that's part of the process of, we learned how to win. Now we have to learn how to, handle winning and still prepare and go out and play. And our kids realize that, and their mindset is right and focused. So I think we're going to see a little bit more what we've been seeing before. Our guys have done a good job of stopping the run and handling the line of scrimmage, and we've done a great job of getting pressure on the quarterback and creating turnovers and sacks. And that's the things we're going to need on Saturday. We have to stop the run, and then we got to get pressure on the young quarterback when they want to throw the ball. And then they have a young receiver who's emerged and is making plays left and right, and our DBs have to still have good coverage. So we kind of get back to what we've been doing, controlling the run and be able to get pressure, on quarterbacks and create turnovers.
Coach, as part of this rivalry game, this game will be televised live locally on Fox 56 television. Does this add a level of excitement for the players to know that the game will be televised?
Yeah, I think a little bit, from there, whether they get a chance to watch it or not to be on TV, I think the excitement wanes, and the weather's supposed to cooperate, but I know in the snow game, our kids weren't very excited about the TV game because those 90-second TV timeouts when the wind's gusting and it's like in the teens in the snow, they were shaking and huddling, so they were kind of not speaking well of the TV games, but in general, they're excited to be on TV because Division III games aren't televised and everything, and so for 1 week of the year, this is a big deal. This is a Division I type feel with excitement, TV, the media, and again, we just tell our kids to embrace that, be excited about it, use that to go out and play the best game of the season, because then that's going to give you great memories and be able to propel us into the off season since it is the last game.
Coach, you are in your 4th year at Kings, and on Saturday it will be the last game for your senior class. This group of players came to Kings the same year that you did, so certainly there must be a special place in your heart for them. When this senior class of 16 players leaves Kings, what will their legacy be? Their
legacy is, they've done everything the right way. When I got here, I was 80% done recruiting, at Muhlenberg. And then, so, I had no idea who, if there were going to be people to recruit from here. And the previous guys, they did a great job, getting guys here. But then these kids, they chose Kings for the right reasons. You want kids here to come and get a great education, because then 4 years later, that helmet gets put away, and then they have to take their degree to not get a job but start a career. But they also want to love the game of football. But they had the right priority that it's academics first, football second, and they were still willing to look at Kings and have Kings on their list before there was a coach here. And we got here and talked to him and started watching film, and we're impressed with the fact that, all right, we don't have a big pool, but there's quality in this pool, and now we have to sell them on the football because Kings has already sold them on the school. So it's an indictment on them, of the character of these kids, that they're willing to be patient, like Kings, and willing to wait till they get a coach. And then also that, how strong Kings is as a school, that held their attention through the process.
Well, Coach, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for being with us throughout the season. And good luck to you and the Monarchs on Saturday with the annual Mayor's Cup game between Kings and Wilkes. It will start at 12:07 p.m. at McCarthy Stadium. Thank you.
Thank you.